Today is Thursday, April 3rd, 2014. This is lecture number 3. Tomorrow, when you guys are in your groups and you're on your computers, you're going to log in. And the video file, the project that you're going to highlight is called Video 1 Practice. So we're going to go into that. Let me just show you what to do when you get into there. Your super bin is closed right now. You double click that open. And then here's your raw footage. So you're going to double click raw footage 3rd hour. You're not going to edit 5th hours. So double click 3rd hour. Every single shot that we filmed in this class is all in here as one file. And they're all separated by that clapboard. 5, 4, 3. Okay, so this project is loaded on all of the computers under Video 1 Practice. Another thing that you need to know how to do is make a new sequence for each person in your group. Inside your super bin, we've got our footage. What you want to do is you want to right-click right here, and you want to make a new sequence, and then put team member number 1, or put the first name, last name. Okay, so that's member number 1 of your group. Right-click, new sequence, first name, last name, member number 2. And let's say you have 3 people in your group. Right-click, new sequence, first name, last name, number 3. And so instead of first name, last name, you're going to be putting your names there. Okay? So everybody in your group needs to do this project. Okay? So each one of you has to have your name in one of these sequences. Any questions on that? Okay. I'm going to delete these 3. Delete. File, save bin. I'm going to close this project. Then I'm going to go up to continuity, section 1 or section 3. Hit OK. Okay.
Do we have to do it how you want it?
You should put it together. Well, each person, when you edit it together, it kind of has a flow already. So kind of edit it together how we've been talking about it. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to start completely over with an empty sequence, and we're going to build this thing from scratch again. So what I've done was I went to the very beginning. I put a mark in. You can either do it right here, or you can do it here, because these two what? Are related. They coincide with one another. That will be on the test on Monday. I will have a question on there that will say, the timeline and the record window, blank, are related to each other. That what I do on the record window also happens on the timeline. What I do on the timeline happens on the record window. That's a test question. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lift out all this footage. I'm going to hit the red lift button. Everything is gone. I'm going to clear out my marks, my mark in, my mark out. The way that you do that is you hit the button that says clear both marks. So now I don't have any blue down here. So I'm going to go find my first shot, scene 1, take 1.
But we don't have that when we open it. Because it's
Wait.
just all like...
It's just all one. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's all sync slate with that yellow clapboard. It says scene 1, take 1.
That's really annoying.
So it's going to look like that. Scene 1, take 1. It's not a lot of work. It's kind of less work because all this stuff is in one shot for you. But if you want to do this, I've had students do this before. Actually, I'm not going to tell you because you're probably going to do that, and I don't want you to spend time doing that. But you know what? Next week on Tuesday, I'll tell you how to make sub clips.
Sub clips?
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to build this sequence from scratch. I just want you to kind of watch and see how to do this. And if you have questions along the way, just pause and have me pause and stop me. 4, 3. Did you want me to, you know what? Here, I'll do this, Bryn. I will go back to the other one, the one that you guys will be doing tomorrow, and I'll show you how easy it is. Video 1 practice. I'll do what you guys are doing tomorrow. That's only fair, right? So video footage raw number 3. Scene 1. And roll 9, scene 1, take 1. In 5, 4, 3. Okay, space bar pauses it. That's a test question. Mark in. Play. Get these two into the room. Okay, that's my first shot. I have my mark in, and I want to put my mark out. Because if I don't put my mark out, here's what happens. Okay, you're saying, Tauchi, why do I have to put a mark out? Here's what happens if you don't put a mark out and tell it they've gotten into the room. Now end that shot. If I don't do that, and if I hit overwrite, it puts the whole entire movie into your timeline, and you don't want that. You go shot by shot. So Control Z. I know I'm tired too. Got up at 5. All right, mark in, mark out, and then there's 2 ways to get footage down into your timeline. That is a test question. And I'll say, what are the 2 ways to get footage down into your timeline? And you will write splice in and overwrite. And then the second part of that question will say, what is the difference between splice in and overwrite?
What is the difference again?
Is it over and overwrite gets rid of it?
Yep. Exactly what he said. Cam, nice job. So splice in will actually push over your footage in your timeline. It doesn't get rid of anything. Splice in pushes your footage over. It doesn't get rid of anything. It doesn't erase anything. It just keeps pushing all of your footage over. It doesn't get rid of anything. Overwrite, on the other hand, will cover over the top of. It will get rid of it. It will erase anything in its path. Okay? So right here, if I go to the very beginning here, and let's say I want the clapboard. Got the clapboard here. Okay, there, I set a mark in and a mark out on the clapboard. And I've got my hallway footage. I got them into the room. Here's what overwrite does. It does not push this footage over. But if I hit overwrite, it just covered over the top of that one shot. Play. Scene 1, take 1. So there's our clapboard. There's our clapboard. I put it in here 5 times. So overwrite gets rid of your footage. Okay, it puts it in your sequence, but it has the opportunity to cover over the top of it. Any questions on that? The difference between? So I'm editing. I'm going Control Z. I'm undoing that footage. To save this, we're going to go up to File, Save All Bins. So I've got my first shot here. Get them into the room. Good. All right. Now we're going to go to the next shot, Scene 2. In. And we're going to scrub forward here, get them into the room. And here's Scene number 2, take 1. And Scene 2, take 1. And when you're editing this on your own tomorrow, it's kind of up to you as an editor. Okay, at what point do I want to cut to this tighter shot? Well, let's say right there. So I want to go to this next shot right there.
It's not the same. Key on speed are different.
I know. I haven't set this one yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to set the mark in right here. This is where I want the next shot to start. Then I'm going to go forward on here. I'm going to go frame by frame and try to find. I'm going to go see. What's he doing here?
You can also use the arrow keys to do that, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
The arrow keys will move you 1 or 2 frames each.
Yeah, I'm really a more mouse kind of guy. Okay, his right foot just went down, and right here we want his right foot to go down, and down right there. McKenna, and all right, not too bad. Mark in. Yeah, the arms are a little off, so a little break in continuity. I'm gonna stay in this shot until they go forward and they clear the shot. And mark out. Okay, so it's not very long of a shot. I'm also going to take off my audio here. I don't want to disturb that audio track and have 2 different sounds of audio from that hallway. I just want to keep one. So I'm going to deselect A1 and A2. So if the only one that's highlighted here is video 1, that's all that's going to go in there from this clip. Are there any questions on that?
So you wouldn't want us to put a new layer?
No, no, we're just gonna cut to the next shot here. Yep.
And this is single track editing
Yep.
right now.
Single track, yeah. So I'm gonna hit overwrite. So now it's kind of up to you. I'm gonna leave it totally up to you. If you want to just cut to them getting into the room and not go back to this, it's totally up to you. You're your own editor, okay? I'm gonna bring them in just because I want to cut to that next shot when they walk in. All right. So I'm gonna put my mark in right here. I always put my mark in on the record side first, just because I'm making the decision on when I want my next edit to happen. Then I go back and I go get my next shot. Scene 3, take 2. Oh, did we do this yet?
We didn't do the audio.
No, we didn't. We did it in 5th hour. They were blown away.
4, 3.
Can't believe it's gonna snow tonight.
I know, seriously, I mean, we just had rain, didn't we?
Yeah, the different changes in temperatures.
That's why it's gonna snow? Well, we kind of learned that years ago. You didn't have to say it now, it's kind of obvious.
Sure.
Nerd!
Mark in, mark out. This is an audio voiceover. What were we filming at that point? The floor. Okay. So sometimes what Hollywood will do is you see an actor or an actress walking far, far, far away from the camera. And this is what they'll do. They'll just record their conversation really close in a sound room, and they'll put that underneath the top of, or as they're walking, they'll put it on their audio. However, I want to keep the natural sound from my hallway. So I want to keep that. I'm going to right click down here in my sequence. And I'm going to go to new audio track, mono. Then I'm going to do it one more time. Right click, new audio track, mono. And now I've got space here to put that audio track in of their conversation about the snow. These are called handles here. And if you notice what I just did, if you click down on audio 2 and I point it down to 4, click and drag it down to 4. You see that little arrow on my pointer, my mouse? I want the audio to go down there. Okay. And I want it to start at the beginning. I've got to mark in, I've got to mark out right here. And I'm going to hit overwrite. Oops. See what I did?
Yeah, I see what you did.
Does anybody else see what I did?
Yeah, that top one is still selected.
Look at this video. Where's my video?
Oh,
Still on the ground.
It's gone. Why is it gone?
Because video was still selected.
What?
Video was still selected.
The video was still selected. This little box right here, video 1. So I'm going to go up to edit, undo. Edit, undo, overwrite. I need to deselect this video 1 so I don't get rid of my video here. I'm going to go overwrite.
Can't believe it's gonna snow tonight.
I know, seriously, I mean, we just had rain, didn't we?
Yeah, the different changes in temperatures.
That's why it's gonna snow? Well, we kind of learned that years ago. You didn't have to say it now, it's kind of obvious.
Sure.
All right, so right there I'm going to cut out my audio. All right, because by the time they get into the room, I'm going to be able to see their mouths, and I don't want to be having them have that conversation. So I'm going to get rid of this little chunk right here. Everybody see that? I'm going to lift that out. I can also extract it. At this point, it doesn't matter, because extract or lift, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to lift it. It's gone. And now when they get in the room,
Yes.
Sure.
okay, so that footage is gone. Any questions so far? Okay.
What's the difference between extract and
left.
The difference between extract and lift, good question. Extract, let's say we want to get rid of, let's say we're going to put a mark in here and a mark out right here. And we select all these. If I hit lift, it makes a gap. So it's going to go to black.
Yeah,
That's why it's gonna snow?
Okay, so that's lift. If I were to bring that footage back, okay, And if I hit extract, what that's going to do is it's going to join this chunk and this chunk together.
And get rid of the one in between.
Yep, it's going to extract that. So
Closes the gap.
Wait,
Yeah, the different.
that's why it's gonna snow?
does that make sense?
Extract's helpful when you want to like say you have everything in sync and the piece is a little too long and you want to cut one sound bite and all the B-roll. If you were to extract from one good cut point to the next, you'd have to light up every single layer like you did and it would cut it right there and make it shorter at the end. But you got to do it where it makes sense.
Yep. All right, moving on. We've got 8 minutes to finish this video. All right, so they walk in. We're going to go get the next shot, which is right here. Keon is right by the door. Bring him forward to the door. You know what? Let's go back a little bit. Put him outside. Mark in. Stop right there, mark in, mark out, and I have all my tracks selected here. I still want to keep my main video on video track 1, and I want to keep my main audio on audio 1 and audio 2. So I'm going to point those up there, because down here is kind of like my effects, my sound effects, my conversations of people when I'm filming the trash cans or the floor. Okay, so I'm going to keep this track open. I'm going to hit overwrite because I want to get rid of this footage. If I were to hit splice in right here, it's going to save this little chunk of video, and I don't want to do that.
Mark in on the.
Thank you. Mark in, mark out, overwrite.
Sure.
Okay, right there is where I'm going to take my next shot. Mark in, go forward on here.
Three.
Bring it back. Mark in. Mark out. Find my position on the handle right there. Mark in. I have a mark in, mark out on my source footage. I have a mark in on here. I've got V1 selected, A1 and A2 selected. And I hit overwrite. I'm also going to go to that over the shoulder shot. I'm going to hit mark in. I'm going to go get that next shot.
So you guys understand that it's all one big source clip now instead of separate clips?
Yeah, I'm editing that.
Yeah.
So that they can see how to do that.
Good.
And here's our continuity error. Nice.
Our continuity video. And
Oh, he goes in first on the next take?
No, look. When they walk in, the door is shut. And when they walk in this way, the door is already open.
Oh, we should go past it, kind of.
Yeah.
Cut it flat past it.
Right there. Mark in. Bring McKenna in there. Okay, so she's in there, right there. Mark in. Sit. Mark in, mark out. Overwrite. Mark in, that's where I want the next shot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That sounds like Alvin, doesn't it?
Go 9, scene 7, take 1. And 5, 4, 3.
All right, so now you have this extra shot to kind of like decide where you want to go with it. And put her equal with the door frame right there. Mark in. Mark in, mark out. Mark in. And I'm just going to put it in just a little bit. If I had better headroom here, I could actually use this shot, but I'm just going to cut back here. So I have a mark in and out here, and I have a mark in and out here. I want to see if it actually does it for me.
No.
Sometimes this will happen. I'm hoping that it, oh, dang it. Okay, it's not going to do it. That's all right. Mark in, mark out, overwrite. Looks good. It works.
Roll 9, scene 8, take 1. 5, 4, 3.
I also have this shot that I can use. Mark in, sit down.
It is time for our radio show.
Mark in, mark out. About to sit down. Right there. Mark in, mark out. Right here, mark in. We have our audio, video 1 selected. Overwrite.
It is time for our radio show.
This is audio.
Yeah, I was going to have them match frame with the audio here.
It is time for our radio show.
You can just use the first one. That's fine. What I was going to have you do is I was going to have you take this audio right here.
3. It is time. That's it.
It is time for a radio show. And then overdub this part right here.
It is.
Because the camera is far, far away from him right there. If we go mark in and take off your video and then go overwrite, what we're doing is putting in new audio over the top of that.
It is time for our radio show.
Okay? So what you can do is you can take just that audio where we're pointing towards the floor and reinsert that over the top of Keon right there.
It is time for our radio show.
And the last thing that I would want you to do is to fade out to black. And to fade out, have all of your tracks selected, and you're going to go up here to this, it's called quick transition. Quick transition, you're going to hit that button. We can go centered on cut, 15 frames, add and render. So now here's what it looks like at the end.
It is time for our radio show.
Okay. There's a whole bunch of other different things for audio EQing. Really quick, for those that want to learn this, if you go up to Tools tomorrow, if you notice this little VU meter right here, it's in the yellow. In the yellow. If you go up to Tools, you go to Audio Mixer. Guys in the front, shh. Go up to Audio Mixer. Each one of these audio pieces has a track. Audio 1 and 2 and audio 3 and 4. If you put these together like this will move together. It will bring down audio 1 and 2 together. So it's actually bringing down the volume. So if I bring it all the way down, you're not going to hear
And temperatures.
You're not going to hear anything from the hallway. All right. Have a good day.